I was always good at that. I learned that from an early age to read a book by its color in a way and judge those shitty sequels. Those things never fool me. My dad gets it every time. I'll be sitting there watching him flip through Netflix and he's like, "Ooh, this looks like it'll be good," and I'm just like, "No, it doesn't, Dad." He's like, "Why not?" I'm like, "Look at the fucking cover art. Look who's playing in it. You ever hear any of those people? Look when it was made, 2011. Never heard of this movie. It's rated R." Who's Solomon Keynes? Who is that? They put his name on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is gonna be a shit fucking movie.
I wish I had that gift. Jackie gave me one tip. She says if there's a TV series on Netflix, and I should preface this by saying this: I have had no like cable or satellite TV for so long that things can be running for like years and I don't know it. You know, TV shows come and go off the air. I'm just not in touch with it. Anyway, she says if you see something on Netflix and it has 1 or 2 seasons, it's probably crap. And that's helped me a bunch.
Well, Walking Dead only had the first 2 seasons for the longest time.
Yeah, true. But Walking Dead had
different.
enough hype around it that I'd heard of it.
That show is not even that good.
No, it's
Wildly
not.
No.
overrated.
Agreed. Yeah,
But
Walking
we
Dead
agree it's
had
not a bad show either.
No.
It's a bad show.
I'll disagree with Merca slightly. Walking Dead was great the first season. Yeah. And then they hit it with the shit shovel or something and turned it into
I told you what happened,
They
right?
fired the writer, right? Or something.
They
the
fired
producer?
the guy who they fired the guy who writes the fucking books. They fired him, and the thing about him was he had brought all those actors in that are like that. You know, the actors, the supporting actors that you actually recognize. You're like, hey, I know that guy with the white beard and Andrea. You know, the blonde, like there were some recognizable faces in there that came because they wanted to work with that guy for a discount. And when this show was a huge hit and it made all this money, instead of giving everybody raises and signing everybody up, they did the opposite. Like they cut him out and they started killing and they cut the pay. They cut the pay. That's what it was. At Comic-Con, you see them get asked. They're like, you guys must be really excited about season 2 because you have such an increased budget. In reality, what they did, they like almost doubled the amount of episodes and they lowered the budget. And you see them have this look on their face like, you want to answer that, Chris? Almost like, Chris, you want to tell them the fucking truth here right now that we're getting screwed right now? So long story short, they fired that guy, and most of those people that he brought in were shortly after killed off, even though they don't die in the comics.
Or they're just not happy or something. Yeah, and the show started to suck too. And apparently there were a lot of cool things. Like for example, the in the tank, there's a guy who has a grenade in his hand, and what I think was the first episode, I'm not sure. And Rick gets the grenade, and it helps him escape from the tank. And they were going to tell the whole story of how that tank got there, and why there was a nade, and how he was sort of holding it until he could get attacked and take the zombies out with him. And that was going to play out. But instead, they do what? Fucking Andrea scared in the woods for the 20th time because it takes no budget to have some bitch in the woods who, if she was my neighbor, I'd never go to her barbecue.
Dude, that whole shit with the governor, Rick should have fucking killed the governor in 3 episodes, and he should have been done. The governor's not supposed to come in until like season 5 or something. The governor's not a big fucking deal. I hate the goddamn governor. That eye patch wearing, time wasting. I quit watching it. I'm not gonna watch it ever again. It turned into Lost for me.
I hate that angsty little kid. Whatever his name is.
Fuck that little bitch. Fuck that little kid. I hope a zombie rapes him.
I'm pouty. Just
I hope a zombie rapes him.
They tried to force way too much character.
I didn't make it past season 2.
I want to watch.
I'm okay with the kid.
How you develop.
I get that the kid is at a stage
Kid's
like
boring.
I feel like little kid actors, you know, younger than he is currently, are decent actors because they don't know how to act. They just know how to be themselves, and themselves is what we want them to play. And grown-ups, of course, can be great actors, but somewhere around like teenagehood, when they become sentient and self-conscious, they suck at acting.
Bran.
What did you say?
Like Bran from Game of Thrones, the cripple.
Yep.
He's gonna be really not good. He's already not good.
Yes.
Puberty is
I think they're
hitting him
replacing him.
fucking
I think they're actually replacing that character.
Look.
The one
His
exception
voice cracking.
is Harry Potter, who somehow didn't become a terrible actor as he matured. But anyway, what was I going to say? But Rick is the character that I can't. Him and his crying and his self-doubts and his hallucinations. And you're trying to lead people here, you little bitch. You gotta man the fuck up. Sack up, Rick. His kid to me is braver, and if you're gonna turn into some hardened zombie killer, I can get that. But the crybaby shit that Rick is, get the fuck out of here. He's a pussy.
Oh, my wife died 3 seasons ago. Get over it.
They suck
Move on.
so bad at killing zombies. They are the worst zombies.
Really? They're
terrible.
But they'll go on a little montage tear that means nothing. Like let's spend 30 seconds like killing a bunch of zombies that mean nothing right here. But as soon as like the chips are down, it's like, hey, someone needs to kill 15 zombies real quick so that we don't have to deal with them over here in this danger zone. Oh, I twisted my ankle and I dropped my knife in the well. Whatever shall I do? When it should be like, it should be fucking M4 with a suppressor, just like pop, 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 pop. Like that's how fast I can fucking shoot zombies in the head. As fast as I can pull a trigger. It's absurd.
Like part of enjoying those zombie movies is like being satisfied by like, that's it. Like, boom, boom, might be taking them out. You don't want to watch a group of retards bumble about and fail every time they come across the slightest zombie inconvenience. Because then you don't really picture yourself in that group. You're just watching a failing group stumble through the apocalypse. You're not like,
they were so poorly armed at the beginning, it made no fucking sense. They were in Georgia.
Yeah.
They're here. Like,
Kyle and I were talking. We were like, let's say hypothetically Kyle had no guns and he needed to get some. It would take him less than 15 minutes. Like he's like, I know my neighbors have guns. They have to. I'm just profiling them. They have livestock. They're farmers. Like, guns are a tool that farmers need to put animals down or to keep coyotes away, or I don't know. But farmers have guns. They just do. And he's like, yeah, everyone around here's got to have one. It's a tool that exists for this agricultural area. Bam.
Yeah, and people just have them. I guarantee you, at 50% of my neighbors have guns in their houses. Like, if there was a reason to have a gun, I could be like, hey, Bob, I need a gun. Could I borrow one of yours for a minute?
Yeah.
Like, everyone has
more than
50%.
People have them around me, too. I don't know which 50%.
And I kind of help the average out a little bit over here.
You bump it up a touch. But yeah, like I remember I somehow I mentioned guns to one of my daughter's friend's father. And he had them. He was like, yeah, we got a shotgun here and something else there. You know, they just exist around here. They're not out there shooting all the time, but you buy a gun and they last forever. You know, the shotguns get to be literally like 150 years old and they still work fine. They don't really go away from the economy. They just keep going.
Yeah.
You know, I got a gun from the 40s.
They don't depreciate in value very much. Like, most of the stuff behind me I could get. It's most of what I've got's appreciated in value, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet against that. I don't think the same is true for me because most of mine are less than 10 years old. But if you let it go, then history would say they'd go up.
Yeah.